Last week, Hunter Biden, the son of the President of the United States, was charged with a scheme to evade federal taxes on millions in income from foreign businesses. At issue here is a 4-year period between 2016 and 2019 in which prosecutors allege that Hunter Biden purposely worked to avoid paying $1.4 million in federal taxes. Between 2016 and October 15, 2020, the defendant spent this money on drugs, escorts and girlfriends, luxury hotels and rental properties, exotic cars, clothing, and other items of a personal nature. In short, everything but his taxes, wrote David Weiss, who's the special counsel tasked with looking into these allegations against Hunter Biden, which, oof. Yeah. It's actually the second indictment for Hunter in 2023. He was previously charged in Delaware on the illegal purchase of a handgun. Now, this is a problem for Joe Biden, and the New York Times explains why. I'm going to quote from them here. The charges, while serious, were far less explosive than the ones pushed by former President Donald J. Trump and congressional Republicans, who have been angry with the Justice Department for failing to find wider criminal wrongdoing by the president's son and family. Keep going on the New York Times. But the failure of Mr. Biden's lawyers to reach a new settlement after talks with Mr. Weiss fell apart has now subjected Mr. Biden to the perils of 2 criminal proceedings in 2 jurisdictions with unpredictable outcomes. Now, before I go any further, let me say a few things. Thing 1. Nowhere in the Hunter Biden indictments is there anything that even suggests that Joe Biden is involved in this stuff in any way. Thing 2. Donald Trump, the actual person who is the frontrunner to be the Republican presidential nominee, faces 4 indictments and 91 counts of wrongdoing. And thing 3, things 1 and 2 are not, in fact, equal. Now, despite those 3 things, the ongoing legal issues of Hunter Biden do complicate what Joe Biden needs to do in order to win in 2024. And that is this: paint the race as between corruption, double dealing, and personal enrichment on one end, and, well, not that on the other end. I've argued before that Biden's best attribute in the race is that, in the main, swing voters believe that he is a fundamentally decent human who tries, if not always succeeds, to do the right thing. I'm going to quote from something I wrote on Substack earlier this year, and yes, I am quoting myself. Here we go. The reality is that for all the talk of Hunter Biden and other allegations of wrongdoing by the Biden family, the average swing voter simply does not believe that Joe Biden is a scheming, bad guy. They may well think he is too old, or even incompetent. But they think that, at his core, he is trying to do what he believes to be is the right thing for the American people. And I still think that was true. But I also think that these latest charges, which are far more serious than the gun ones — the issue in the gun case is that Hunter bought a gun while he was knowingly doing drugs — threaten to hand Republicans a way to tarnish that hail fellow well-met reputation that Joe Biden currently enjoys. Again, I'm not saying that the charges against Hunter Biden equal the charges against Donald Trump. They do not. But what I am saying is that politics isn't a court of law. Donald Trump doesn't need to prove legally that Joe Biden is knee-deep in Hunter Biden's problems, whether we're talking about the indictments or the allegations of influence peddling. All Trump needs to do is muddy the water enough that to some chunk of voters in some swing states, they decide to effectively throw their hands up and say something like, all politicians are corrupt. That is a major win for Trump, because it cancels out, or at least somewhat neutralizes, his biggest problem in the race, which is, just to repeat, that he is currently facing 4 indictments and 91 total charges. Now, should this be the case? No. In an ideal world, people educate themselves about what is being alleged in each of these cases. They conclude that, at least so far, there is no tie between Hunter and Joe Biden, and that Trump's charges, especially the ones about the whole trying to overturn a free and fair election thing, are more serious with more wide and long-lasting implications for a healthy democracy. But we do not live in that world. As much as the media will do to make clear the differences in the charges, both in what's alleged and their magnitude, the Republican noise machine, led by Fox News, will do the opposite, suggesting that it is actually Hunter Biden's problems that are far worse than Trump's. And Trump himself, as well as his significant campaign apparatus, will amplify those allegations, using them to suggest that Biden, Joe that is somehow deeply corrupt. Biden is the most corrupt president in American history, and that's not even close, Trump said in a statement when Biden announced his re-election bid this spring, adding this: nobody can believe what's going on, with, again, no retribution whatsoever. Now, the question, of course, is not actually whether Trump's base believes this. They do. But they weren't going to vote for Joe Biden anyway, so really no harm done there. The real question is how much all of this smoke surrounding Hunter Biden seeps under the doors of swing voters in swing states. And there's some evidence that people, or at least some decent sized chunk of them, do see some not great stuff in all of this for Joe Biden. In an AP poll conducted in October, almost 7 in 10 Americans believe that Joe Biden did something either illegal, 35%, or unethical, 33%, in relation to Hunter's business dealings. So what? Joe Biden has said repeatedly that he loves his son and he's proud of him, and that he isn't going to say much else. I'm not sure that will work, because Republicans are going to say a whole hell of a lot of things about Hunter Biden, and a negative attack unanswered tends to be a negative attack believed. Plus, there is some there when it comes to Hunter Biden. This isn't just House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer's wild goose chases. This is a special counsel saying Hunter purposely didn't pay his taxes and instead used that money on escorts and luxury cars. Silence in the face of those facts may be an untenable strategy now.